Hi friends, it's Angela. I'm doing my Marvelous Monday beginner stamping techniques. Tonight's the 18th of 52, so I'm going to try really hard to get through 52 of them. I may not be able to get it done in a year, but I'm going to try my best to keep going. Tonight we're going to be using the cute little Wildvioletsart brush. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to use it, but it's this sparkly clear gel that just adds a little extra shimmer to any of your stamping projects. But we're going to use it tonight to paint with, and we're going to use the Stampin' Up! Classic stamp pads. So we're going to be using the ink and this little shimmer brush, and we're going to paint so that instead of coloring all your items and then coming back and adding your Wildvioletsart to the things you want, you can just actually use the Wildvioletsart brush for the cute colors. So I'm using the Spring Blessing catalog, or the stamp set again from the mini catalog. It's on page, let's move there. It's on page 19 of the Spring Mini, and this is only good until the end of April. So I want to make sure that you're aware that there's only a little over a month left before this catalog retires. So we're going to make this cute card, and I just want to show you. Hopefully it'll pick it up. Let me move my light here, and hopefully you can see the Wildvioletsart shimmer in all the little flowers on the bunny and the grass. So all of the coloring that I did on this card, I used Wildvioletsart. Looks like I forgot to color my little butterfly. And then I did the same thing on the envelope. So you can see it's just got a little bit of shimmer, pretty shimmer. Okay, all right, so let's get started. So what I'm using is I'm using the bunny, this little flower garland, and then hoping the Spring Blessing brings you many blessings. So let me get the sentiment. And tonight I'm using the Stamparatus. So I'm not sure if you've used that before. And then I've already got the bunny, the butterflies, and the grass already on this block. So it's all ready to go. Okay, so what I did is I used a 3-inch by 3-inch piece of cardstock. And I placed it here in the middle. So each one of these is a 1-inch square. And then I placed this garland at the edge, and I made sure that it matched up so that when I stamp it or ink it up and then stamp down on the paper, I'll rotate the paper 90 degrees, and then by the time I'm done, I'll have a cute little garland that goes all the way around, a little flower garland. So you can see I've got 2 sides done. So I already have one finished, and you can see that it just turns out really cute. So it's just a different way. So let me just put this aside. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp my little bunny foo-foo in the middle. And then, so this is a 3-inch by 3-inch. And I need to stamp my sentiment on this little scrap because I'm going to punch it out. And this is a great sentiment punch. And I'm just going to make sure that my sentiment is straight. Okay, so done with the black for now. Okay, so the Wink of Stella has this really pretty shimmery, let's see if I can get this in front of the camera. Maybe back away a little bit. It's got a shimmery ink to it. There we go. So you can see there's some shimmer to it. And what I'm going to do, because I don't want that shimmer on my ink pad or the inside of my ink, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep and use some blocks so I have something to color with. So I brought over a bunch of my little ones. So I'm using Melon Mambo, Highland Heather, and this weekend I used a different color, but I'm using Pale Papaya and Pear Pizzazz. And then for my bunnies spots, I'm using Sahara Sand. So each one of them, I'm just inking up so you can see there's ink on each one of these blocks. And that way I can just wash off the blocks and I don't get any of this Wink of Stella on here. Okay, so the pink is pretty bright. So it actually works really well. And then I'm going every third flower. Gets a little lighter with each one. And then I have a little bit extra, so I'm going to stick an extra one there. And then I'm going to color this little butterfly. Okay, so between each one, I'm going to clean off the brush so that there isn't any more ink on it. So then I'm going to come back and this is the Highland Heather. This one, I want it to be a darker purple, so I'm not letting it run out. And I need to color this little butterfly. I forgot. Okay. So cleaning off my brush again. All right. So the next flower. Hey, Carrie. Thank you for meeting me or joining me tonight. Yeah, I made the mistake of using my Wink of Stella brush on my stamp pad and on the inside, and I noticed the next time I used it, I had Wink of Stella sparkles all over one of my projects. So it actually isn't a bad thing because, I don't know, you just can't get enough of Wink of Stella. Okay, so then I'm going to come back with the Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to do the little leaves, and I'm going to do the grass. Okay, clean that one off. All right, now I'm going to do the little bunny spots. I'm going to do a nice big one there, one here, one on his ear, and then I'm going to come back with the pink, and I'm going to lighten it up as much as I can, and I'm going to do a little bit around his nose, inside of his ear, and then his paw, and his little tummy. So there we go. Isn't he a cute little bunny? Let me try to get more light on this so that you can see it. So just a little bit of Wink of Stella, and hopefully you can see the sparkles, but it just adds a little extra festiveness to this adorable card. Okay, so I have layered Oops, looks like I forgot my glue. So I've layered it on a piece of black cardstock. So my white square is 3 inches by 3, and the black is going to be 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. I like just a subtle outline so that it's not like a 1/4 inch difference. And then this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 in the pear pizzazz. Okay. Now, there's a couple more stamp blocks that I need. Okay. So now I'm going to be working with the Highland Heather. And for this piece, and it looks like I'm missing my my 1 inch strip. Okay, so this is one of the cards that we made this last weekend at my class, and looks like I got this a little wonky. The glue usually is pretty forgiving, but if you wait too long, it no longer is. So I'm having to tear it off and move it so that it's in the right position. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stamp a couple of other elements. So for the corners of my Highland Heather, I want this cute little frame, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in 4 places, though this one doesn't show up. And then on this binding piece, because this card is kind of like a book, and it is glued in this area, and it opens like this, so it opens like a square. Okay, so I need the little corner piece, and I need the little flowers. Because we have the garland, the little floral garland, I wanted to use the flowers. All right, so Highland Heather, whoops, these are the stars. You'd think I'd had glasses on, I'd see what I needed to see. I picked the wrong one. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp as far over into the corner as I can. Wonderful thing about the photopolymer stamps is they're easy to see through, so positioning is super easy. And you can, that way you get it right. You don't have to redo anything. Okay, so that piece is ready. And then on my little flowers, I'm going to stamp off the edges so it looks like background paper or pattern paper. And you can switch it around if you want to twist the flowers so they're not always in the same position. Not overlapping the flowers, but as you can see, just got a really nice pattern. There we go. Okay. So now we can start putting the card together. So I took a 11 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock and I scored it down the middle. And I also scored it at 4 1/4 inches. And the reason is because I'm going to adhere my card so that this binding part, so it's like a book binding. Okay, so now it's ready to go. All right, so the 1 inch piece, 1 inch by 4 inch, is going to go here. And then the 4-inch Highland Heather is going to go in the middle here. Okay. And then this piece that I've already done, I'm going to use some Stampin' Spots, or Stampin' Dimensionals, sorry. And I'm going to pop it up. In the middle. And just place it in the middle of my card. All right. And then, so I have a length of this black gingham ribbon, which I just love it. It's so adorable. I hope they keep it for another year. It's just one of my favorites. Isn't that cute? That reminds you of spring. So this was about 18 inches. That's a little longer than it needs to be. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it to my card front before I glue so I can position my bow where I want it. And I'm putting my bow down at the bottom. And then I'm going to pull it down and make it as small as I can and cut off the extra. Okay. You can put a little bit of glue behind, but first thing I need to do is I need to glue the inside. So I'm going to position my ribbon where I want it. Okay. Plenty of glue. And then just a touch of glue behind the ribbon so that the bow stays where it's supposed to. Okay, now I'm using the assorted or the loose flowers. And this is in polished pink. Even though I used Mellow Mambo, I think the polished pink and the Mellow Mambo are really close. And then this is the Pale Papaya. And even though this one is the Fresh Freesia, I think it matches well enough with the, because there's so many different shades of the Highland Heather, I think it works as well. Okay, so now I'm going to add some glue where I'm going to put these little flowers. You can use glue dots as well, that works. Oops, helps when your fingers aren't sticky. All right. Okay, so now I've got my little sentiment. All right, so this is the middle of Fabulous Frames. And I had this from last month's Dainty Details card class. And I just had a whole bunch of these left over. And when I overlapped them, I realized this makes a great layer for my sentiment. So I'm going to just glue this sentiment onto the inside of what was left of the Fabulous Frame, the oval. And then I'm going to just trim off each side. And then I'm going to pop this up on my card front. Okay. Because it's mostly hanging off, I'm just going to put 2 in the top left corner of my sentiment and then hang it off the edge. Isn't that a cute card? So just as a reminder, I used my Stamparatus to get my garland placed, and then I just kept rotating and rotating and rotating the card front in order to get a circlet of flowers. And it works really well when you need to repeat the same thing again and again. It works really great for that. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's technique. You can using the Wink of Stella to color your images. And instead of having to color it and then come back with a Wink of Stella, it works fabulous just to color directly. So hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.